So we will start our session today. Before that, I will share my screen. So this is our site, vijayhanson.com. So in this you can find yesterday's session. Yesterday we took the machine learning introduction and on algorithm. So if you want to see that, you can go to the meetup uploads, meetup videos. In that you can find all the videos. So you can see here. So all the videos available here. This is the yesterday's session we took, and this all this are Python classes. 7 parts are available here. So you can see all the videos in here. If you missed the yesterday's session, it is here. You can see that. Okay. Shall we move on to the session? Before that, I want to show you something. Yesterday we saw linear regression. We build a model for linear regression. So this is the output we got. Just now running that file. Yesterday we got an accuracy like 0.76. So I just try to improve the accuracy by changing. You can see here 0.76. Yesterday we got, and I try to improve the accuracy by changing the test size and random state. And I changed the test size to 0.3. I got I changed the 0.3. So like 30% of data will go to the test set, and the 70% of data will go to the train set. So I just got this accuracy. So pretty good, 9.2. And one more I did. I will change the random state also. I changed random state to 0. I got 0.97. 0.97. You can see here. This is how you can improve your models by changing the test size and random states. So this is what I got. If you want to improve your model, you can just change the test size or random state. So you got the perfect combination of test size and random state. You will get more accuracy. Here you can see 0.97. Okay, it's a very good model. Now today we are going to see the logistic regression. So it's the logistic regression. Regression is produce a result of binary outcome. It uses for classification like 0 or 1, yes or no, true or false, high or low. So the outcome will be either discrete or categorical, such as like this. So in logistic regression, we used the linear formula like y equal to mx plus c. The formula is derived from the y equal to mx plus c. So why not we are going to use linear regression is because in linear regression we use uh, we used to build a model like infinity values. They have continuous prediction like salary. So yesterday we seen a experience with respect to the salary. So that is for linear regression. But if you want to build some model that predicts 0 or 1 like binary outcome, you can use logistic regression. Okay. So at the end of the linear regression, we use the same as the linear regression, that is logistic regression, but there we are going to change the value of the outcome, the linear regression. We use some functions like logit and sigmoid function to transform the output in the range of 0 to 1. So if you get the 0 to 1, you can just operate and classify this things like 0 or 1, and it uses a threshold value. What is threshold value means? It uses a value is that greater than the value like 0.5 here. If the value of the probability comes greater than the 0.5 as classified as class 1, and if this 0 is less than 0.5, it classifies as a class 0. Okay. So that is the sigmoid function. It's derived from the linear formula, y equal to mx plus c. It's converted into probability. Probability can be vary from 0 to 1. We are converting the range to 0 to 1. That's it. So we use some mathematical here, and we use log. And after this calculation, you will get this formula. What it does, it will put the value in a range of 0 to 1. So that is sigmoid function does. Okay. So after this, in this range, we use some threshold value to classify this class. Like before I said, is that greater than the threshold value that is predicted as class 1. If that is less than of the threshold value, is predicted as class 0. So like that, the logistic regression works. But some difference in linear regression and logistic regression, like we can't use the linear data to the logistic regression, is because the logistic regression will only work on the binary outcome. Okay, like classification 0 or 1, male or female, yes or no, high or low. For this, you can use logistic regression. And like I said before, it uses the same thing, mx plus c, for the linear line. If uh, it uses a sigmoid function to make this line as a curve of yes. This, you can see this. So it's varied from 0 to 1 range. Okay. So y is the threshold value. Greater than the threshold value is called as y equal to 1, class name 1, and less than this, it will be predicted as class 0. And before the confusion matrix, we will build our model, logistic regression model. And after building the model, we will actually a confusion matrix is nothing but uh, yesterday we used R1 score for accuracy, linear regression for linear regression. Like for classification, like logistic regression, we use confusion matrix. We will saw that later. But before, just go to the just we build our model. So I'm creating a file here. So first we need to import the libraries needed. One is pandas for reading the files, creating the data sets, and one more library, NumPy. NumPy is for mathematical calculations, and array creations, NumPy. And we have Matplotlib for visualization. So we are imported the library. Let's select and run this. Sorry, Matplotlib. So now we successfully imported the library. For this logistic regression, I'm going to use this data, Candy data. It's like I will open in the Excel. So one competition is in that competition, uh, people make chocolates. Our job is to predict that is chocolate or not based on the given features. So this is our data. So competitor name. This is what we are going to predict: true or false, 0 or 1, and this all the features are given predict. So it's a competitor name. You can ignore this one. It's because it has some string type of data, so we can ignore this. And we will take all the columns as our independent variable, and we will take this column as dependent variable. Okay. So first we need to create our data set. So this is a file of CSV file. So we need to read CSV. Read CSV here. Inside this read CSV, we need to give the name of the file. Candy data.csv. So I'm selecting this line and run. So if you go to the variable explorer, yeah, we'll remove all this. So we got the data set here. So all these columns are available. In that column, we are going to choose this column as our independent variable, and all other features we are going to use as independent variable. So first we need to choose independent variable x equal to from the data set dot index locator ilog. Sure, we need to get all the rows column here, comma, and what column we want 0 and 1. So this is our column we need. So the index is 1. We need to put 1 here. And of course, we want all the values. So let's put values. This, sorry. X is independent variable. No. So we want from the 2 index, all of the rows we want. So just put 2 here, 2 column. Don't put the last value, it will take all the rows. From the second index, you need all the rows. Okay? For dependent variable, we need the first column, right? Okay, select this, control enter, and we got the x and y values. So we got x as this data set, and y is for dependent variable. Is what we are going to predict. Okay, and in this, uh, we need to pre-process. No, this data is already pre-processed there. If you want to pre-process, you can just see our yesterday video. So we covered the data pre-processing steps. So in this, I think we don't want pre-processing. Yes, we want pre-processing for standardizing the scale. So in this 3 columns, the scale is very different. So we need to standardize the scale. Okay. Uh, but before standardizing, we need to split our data set into training and testing. Okay. And one more thing I want to tell you, like if you have non-cleaned data, you want to find the null values. So if you have 10,000 data, how you will find? You can use the data set here. Using this data set, you can find all the details about the data set. Just dot info. We give info, it will give you all the data, all the information needed for this data set. You can see here. So it has 13 columns. In that 13 columns, all the values are non-null. Non-null means non-empty values. So all the values are non-empty values. You can just find. So, and also the data type also given, like integer or float. On this you can find dataset.info. We give that. Okay. So we need to import, train test split. We need to split our data set into training and testing. For that, we need a library. We need a function called test train split. How we can find that? You can find in the sklearn module. Inside the sklearn, we have pre-processing, sorry, model selection, import train test split. So we got the function here. It will return 4 values: X train, training data, and X test data, and Y train data, Y test data. Okay. We need to call the function train test split. Inside this, we need to give the dependent and independent variable X and Y, and we need 2 more arguments. I'm going to use this arguments, like it has more accuracy. No, so I'm using this combination. So test size is 30% and random state 0. Select these 2 lines and run this. So we got all the 4 variables here. So X test, X train, string, we have 58 observations, and for test we have 25 observations. Okay. And train also for X test, sorry, Y test and Y train. This also the same, 58 observations for train and 25 observations for test. Okay, and we got that X train and X test. Now we need to standardize the scale. We need to apply the scale only for the last three columns. Okay, for the last three columns, how you can find? We will open the X train first. So it's already given the columns, 8, 9, 10. We can choose the index 8 from 8 to all the rows. Okay, so now you can do the standard scalar. First, we need to import the class standard scalar class. So where you can find from the scalar library, inside this preprocessing module, and inside this we have the standard scalar. Let me create an object of standard scalar. So let's see standard scalar. So we got that object. So we need to fit and transform into the columns, the three columns, in that X train, the last three columns from 8 to all the columns. Okay. X train inside this, all the rows, but 8 to all the columns. From 8 to all the columns we need. So after this, it will give you the standardized data. So we need to change the data. So let's put X-ray equal to this, and after that we need and also we need to change the X tests also. They're not going to fit transform it, just transform, because we need the scale. Okay, need that scale, the same scale we are going to use. So let's run this. Now if I open this, you will see that last three columns, it comes in the same range, same scale. The test also, this also came in the same scale. So we standardize the scale. Now we need to build our model. To build our model, we are going to use logistic regression. So where we can find the logistic regression? In that sklearn library, in the linear module, linear model, and inside this we have the logistic regression class. Of course, we need to create an object for logistic regression. I'm going to call as a classifier, because it's classify things now. So logistic regression, that's it. We created the classifier. Now we need to fit the classifier into our trained data set. Okay. So classifier dot fit into the X train and Y train into our training data. Let's select these three lines and run this. So successfully we are fitted our classifier into the training data set. Now time to predict. Ypred equal to classifier dot predict. So inside this predict, we are going to give the test data, so X test, it will give you the predicted value. Now we got the predicted value. Let's open this. This is the predicted value, and the test is the actual value. So we can see here that is correct here. So the first is correct, and this correct. So in this we have a mistake, like the actual is 1, but it is predicted as 0. One mistake, and also here the 18 actual is 1 and is predicted as 0, and also in 19 actual is 1, it's predicted as 0. And these are the predicted values. So we need to find the score now. We need to find our accuracy, how much our model is predicting. So for that, I'm going to use confusion matrix. Name itself confusion matrix. Yeah, in confusion matrix is often is used for describe the performance of classifier classification model, our logistic regression model, and uh, and it takes two parameter. One is the predicted and the test value. So actual and the predicted. Using that actual and predicted, it will give you this matrix that is true positive, false negative, true negative. What does that mean? True positive is the actual is true, and it predicted also true. That is 1, and predicted also 1. And this false positive is actual is negative, but it's predicted as positive. Okay, and this false negative is actual is positive, but it's predicted as negative. Our model is predicted as negative, and a true negative is the actual is negative, and also our model predicted as negative. So this is our confusion matrix. Now using this matrix, we will find the accuracy. So how we can find that accuracy? So true positive plus true negative and all the sum. So in this, these two are the predicted as correct value, and these two are the uh, wrong value. Okay. So using this formula, you can find the accuracy of our model. Okay. So first we need to create a confusion matrix. So for confusion matrix, we have a function called confusion matrix inside the sklearn library. Matrix, inside this matrix we have confusion matrix. So confusion matrix. So let me create a variable cm equal to confusion matrix. So this takes two parameters. One is the predictor and the actual. Let's run this two lines. Now this is our confusion matrix. So it's like these two are correct. So 15 plus 8 observations are correct. 23 observations are correct, but 3 observations are wrong. Where is the wrong is in that false positive. So actual is sorry, false positive. Actual is negative, but it is predicted as positive. You can see in that predictor and the test here where we got mistake. So we got mistake here. So in the 17 and 19, The actual is positive, but it is predicted as negative. That's what we got. These two and another. And here also in the 7, actual is positive and predicted as 0. That's what in the confusion matrix we got 3 here. So 3 are the wrong predicted. So how we can get that accuracy from the confusion matrix using this formula? So true positive plus true negative, true positive plus true negative, 23 are the correct one, and divided by the total number is 26, I think 26. So our accuracy is 0.8846. Okay, 0.8 is our accuracy. We can improve our accuracy by changing the test size and random state. Like let we change random state to 1. See what accuracy we will get. Now the accuracy is 13 plus 11, 24. 2 is wrong. So 24 divided by 26. So now our accuracy is 0.92. So like this we can improve.
Irfan, just little bit louder.
Okay. So in here I change the test random state to 1, and after running this I got this confusion matrix. Here you can see 13 plus 11 are correct predicted. So we got 24 correct predicted, and these two are the wrong one. So we can calculate the accuracy by this formula: true positive plus true negative divided by the sum of both things, like 24 divided by the 26. So we got that accuracy as 0.92. Let's try to change 0.28. Let's see how we can get. In here we got the same result. So now our accuracy will we have 23 correct and 5 wrong. 23 divided by 26. So the same accuracy. So we shall move on to this only. So 0.3. We keep it as 0.3. We will get accuracy as 0.92. So in here any doubts here? And also one more thing I want to tell you. So we have F1 score. F1 score is nothing but a mean of precision and recall. Precision means the ratio of correctly predicted positive observations to the total predicted positive observations, and the recall is ratio of correctly predicted positive observations to all observation in actual class. Okay. Uh, Let me calculate this F1 score. So, to calculate the F1 score, we need the confusion matrix. So first we need precision. So precision is correctly predicted positive observation divided by the total predicted positive observations. Okay. So correctly predicted positive observation is 13 here, and total number of predicted positive is false positive and true positive and false positive. So these two I think. true positive and false positive. So these two. And for calculating the precision, that is 13 divided by this total number of positive cases is 2. 13 plus 1, 14. So now is our precision. And for recall, we need to ratio of correctly predicted positive observations to all the observations in actual class. So that's nothing but true positive. So I will write this formula for precision. For precision, true positive divided by true positive plus false positive. And for recall, it is true positive divided by true positive plus false negative. So we can calculate using this 13 true positive, and we need to add true positive plus false negative. So false negative, so this is our false negative. False negative is also 1. So we got the same result as the recall and precision are same result. For if you want to calculate the F1 score, the average for precision and the recall, that is F1 score. So the same it will come now. So 0.92 plus 0.92 divided by the 2 is average also 0.92. The F1 score, it is 0.92, our F1 score. Okay. So any doubts here? I will repeat that. First, what we did, we imported the libraries needed, and we got the data set, and we read the data, CSV. This is our data file, and we got the data set. This is our data set here. So it has 13 columns, and no, to calculate the accuracy only, we are just calculating the precision and recall. That is our score. No, for F1 score is our accuracy. So for calculating the F1 score, we need these two, precision and recall. Average of the precision and recall is our F1 score. Okay. Any doubts? So let's see this. And we got the dependent and independent variable. Like I used this from this column to the all till end. I've used as a independent variable, and this column, chocolate column, is our dependent variable. So I got this x and y. After that, we split out the data into training and testing. Use the combination of test size 30% and random state 1. It gives you more accuracy, and standardize our scale because in the last 3 columns we have some different scales. So we standardize the scale.
Irfan, I have one question.
Yes.
Initially, we imported libraries, right? Again, what is this import from selection, import, train, test, split. What is the difference? First import and this import.
Not this is needed for all the modules. All the models we need these libraries. So it has some uses of like pandas for reading the data set and numbers as mathematical calculation and for visualizing the data. And this modules for pre-processing and model building. So
If Dinesh here, just a minute, I
yeah,
will explain to her. Actually, the first three is import is a library you are going to import it. That will help for your data will be converted into the tabular format and do some analysis. But that line number 10, he is importing that library, right? That's the train underscore test underscore state. That will help you to split your data. Actually, you have 100 record. It will be split based on your that next line. In the 11th line you have seen, right? The method you will be used with test sizes and random state. So test size is 0.3 means it will be 30% of record. It will be split. So if you have 100 record, you are going to do some testing with 30%. So 70 records will be used for your training purpose. Like that, you are going to split your record because you have a same data set, and based on the same data set you are going to split twice and do some analysis with the training model, and 30% record you are going to fit them and check with your accuracy. So that's the reason you are using this model. So these are all for once the data is converted, then this train and test split will help to slicing the data for training data set and testing data set. Like that, it will be divided. The line number 11, you can see X train, X test, Y train, and Y test. So 4 variable you have created, those 4 variable going to store the data. So X train and Y train. So what is the dependent variable and what is the independent variable? That information you will get. Same like that data for trained data. Out of 100, 70 records will be trained data will be stored. 30 records will be stored in test data. That is the information you will be fed there. That's the use of that library. Are you clear?
First, okay, first one is complete.
That, that are all library only. You just import the library.
Okay,
That will help to handle your data. But
okay,
line number 10 is you help to divide your data for training and testing models. Because you are going to apply some data, right? Let's say, for example, you have some model you have developed. You have to feed some data to train it, right? And then only it's trained, only you can testing data you will be produced and make some analysis whether your model is properly trained or not. That you have to identify via accuracy, right? So those accuracy you can get via this testing model data. That is the use of that. Are you clear?
yeah, clear. Thank you.
Thank you, Dinesh.
Yeah.
Irfan, you can proceed.
yes, that's all our building, model building. Any doubts you can.
Here in the 10th line again, I am coming back. You are importing train test split. Does it model selection has other kind of any other kind of import?
Yes, it has many
You can do
functions in it.
this. No, wait. Okay, okay. Go ahead.
So in this model selection, we have some functions in it. It's not showing that. Many functions are available in here. Tests and train test split. Okay, it has a module also, tests module. So for different uses, we use different uh, modules here. For model selection, we use this module. For pre-processing the data, we use the pre-processing module. And for uh, model creation, we have the linear model. Inside the linear model, we have logistic regression, and we have many. So you can see here many modules is there. So in that only, I'm going to choose the logistic regression. Okay.
Okay, I just inform you guys. It's 11th line. You just go to end. line number 11. Go to the end. End in this side. Random state, everything you mentioned, right? So if you are going to apply this function with a random state, that will help to shuffling your data and producing to you. That's it. That is the use of this function. It will not do anything. So you have 100 record, it will be shuffled. If you are mentioning a random state equal to 1 means it will be shuffled 100 times. You are going to select your model of first shuffled data. So that is the information you will be fed. X and Y is a variable you have provided, and test size X and Y already you calculated with respect of your pandas library, everything. So you have X and Y, and then test size is equal to 0.3 means 30% of data utilized, and that data will be randomly selected. So randomly it just shuffle the data and created multiple data sets, so that we are going to select only one for random state equal to 1, the first one. If needed, you can change any other shuffled data you will be collected. Why we are doing like this? It will be help to randomly you will be selecting the data, because the entire model you will be doing with hypothesis testing, whether it is a null hypothesis or alternate hypothesis. Those hypotheses you have to analyze based on simple random sampling or stratified sampling, anything. So based on sampling only you will be achieving. So that is the case you are using for random state. So you are doing some simple random sampling and fetching the data, and based on that data you will be going to apply it. Otherwise, what will be happen? Your model will be fitting with overfitting or underfitting. The accuracy is for that whatever that model you have developed, that same training data set only will be function. For the testing model data set you will be provided, it will not be accepted. It will be providing very less accuracy. That's what we will be selected in randomly and checking with it. That is the use of random. Okay, so if you want to achieve the same without this function, you can do another one way. You can split your data based on your requirement, and you can assign that X variable everything to X test and X train and Y train, as well as another 30% record you will be stored into the pandas data frame and create as X test and Y test. Then you can achieve the same, because it's going to be stored into the particular variable. Irfan, you just print that X test right now. Just print X test or X train, whatever, anything one, you just print. Yeah, you can see the data will be sliced and will be provided. So this means 70% record is available here. You just print right now with Y train now. So this is only for 30% of record is available. Okay, so based on that, you are going to training your model. That is the use of this function. Without this function, you can achieve, but you have to split your data set in twice, and 70% record you have to make it as a trained data set, and 30% you will be creating another file for testing data set. Then you can achieve that. Are you clear? Any questions?
Yeah, yeah, it's clear.
Any other question?
Thank you.
Any other doubts? Please ask. Irfan, are we done with this with the logistic regression today?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I guess no, like we shall wind off the session now. And before winding off, like I want to share certain things, certain things here. So, all these videos, uh, it would be available here. So yesterday's video, So you can see our website. So here, no, we take sessions on big data, data science, machine learning, deep learning, and other stuffs which is here. So, like here, if you go to our home page, you can see our videos. So it's stuck now. Let me stop and restart the sharing. Yes. Yeah, here like you can see the videos, meetup uploads, meetup videos. Today is part 2. Yesterday we have done with linear regression, and on yesterday's session is here. So you can just see to the yesterday's session. It is part 1. You can just click on it, and you can just click on it, and you can turn on the video, and you can see it. It is all available in our website. It is part 1. So you can see also the part 2. So it is part 1. So you can also see other parts. That is part 2 would be uploaded today. Similarly, we have other parts as well. And if you want to contact us, like you can just call our number. It's 978-988-424. You can see it here, or else you can mail us, or you can contact our alternative number. Next tomorrow's in like we will go with the tomorrow session. We will go with the next one, that is the k nearest neighbor algorithm. It is KNN algorithm. Then day 4 we will go with the support vector machine. Day 5 it would be artificial neural networks. It's ANN, and day 6 would be the convolutional neural networks. So we will go like and also Dinesh Kumar, our senior consultant, he will also be coming, and also Indumati ma'am, she would be Indumati. She is the data scientist. She would also get connected on day 5, day 6. Any doubts? And Irfan would be handling the complete session of ours. And any doubts, like you can just type us, like you can just mail it us, or you can call our number, like you can see it here. Here, that is 978-988-424. You can call, or you can WhatsApp any doubts if you have. Thank you all for
One
attending
minute.
the session. And
One.
yeah, tell me.
Can you, for yesterday video, can you share that URL, exact URL in the
Yes,
chat?
it is in our website. That's what I have showed you, right? You can go to our website and you can see that you can go to bigdatahandson.com/videos, or else in chat itself you want to share, like I'll just share it in our chat itself.
Just copy that URL
Okay.
and mention into the chat.
Okay. It's bigdatahandson.com/videos. So you can click on this link and you can just see that. Okay. Oh, sorry. No, like you can give that.
It seems you said only Joseph. Can you make it all?
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. yeah, you can just type to this. You can see that in that link. No, you will have in our site. No, you will have everything, and all those videos. No, would get uploaded. And so you can type WhatsApp or whatever in our number. So we'll be able to help you. And tomorrow we'll go with the K nearest neighbor algorithm. I guess that's it for the day today. And we shall go for the. We shall meet you all tomorrow. Thank you.